Welcome everybody to the bi-monthly meeting of the Village Trustees for Monday, July 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. We have first order is executive session, discuss contract, 6 p.m. Sorry I missed part of that. All right. Glad I caught the lesson, second part. Number 2, call to order, 7 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, 7 p.m. Call to order, public hearing on Village of Swanton. Make an application to the state of Vermont for the implementation grant under VCDP for the Abenaki Nation of Mississauga. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Heidi, any public, I know Liz is on, any public members?
No.
Okay. Well, do the two of you have any questions?
No, not at all.
No? Okay.
Is there an action item on this?
There is. We need a motion to approve a resolution for a VCDP grant application that we will do on behalf of this project.
I will make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
Nope, I think we had it all last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, really good discussion.
Yep.
All
Heidi,
in-
happy with the motion? You good with the,
Yes.
okay. Go ahead, sorry. Just wanna
Okay.
make sure the experts have to sign off.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any nays? Unanimous yays, so motion carried. Number 5, public comment for CDP grant.
No, thank you for doing this for us. I mean, it's gonna be huge for
Yeah.
our building, and, you know, it's kinda like I believe Liz can elaborate, but it's kinda like the last piece of the puzzle that we needed, and, now we can put everything together and go out for bids and see where we are. And maybe we'll have to do another coin drop if we run a little short, but we'll see. But no, thank you for allowing us, huh? It was nice to you all. Oh, I know you did, right? We did very well, thank
Yeah.
you very much
You're
for that
welcome.
too. as well.
Do you guys want to review a little bit more what you got planned, just in case for new people who are watching?
So Liz, you wanna speak a little bit more, knowing that you've been talking with Nelson pretty direct? You're muted, Liz.
Thank you. So, yeah, the idea is to renovate the main building to address some significant building systems that are at the end of their useful life, including the roof, which will also need some structural reinforcement just to shore up in the middle there. And then energy efficiency retrofit, which means working with Vermont Gas and Efficiency Vermont to insulate, air seal, and put in ventilation, also new furnace. There's 3 furnaces. One of them is at the end of their useful life. That will also include a cool HVAC cooling equipment, or actually I should say air source heat pump cooling equipment to go on the main furnace. So that will eliminate the need for air conditioners, which would be really nice for their electric bill, as well the whole insulation and air sealing project. Then we're going to do for the food shelf some significant improvements, including walk-in cooler and freezer, electrical upgrades, because right now they're moving food from fridges and freezers all the time, and a lot of labor, and things are shorting out. They did some upgrades, but we'll do more. Better loading dock, and then in the main section for just the regular program space, we're going to do some upgrades to improve just some finishes. If we can raise the money, we're going to raise the ceiling where there's a drop ceiling, and we're going to put that back to the historic level where it was. The Division of Historic Preservation asked us to look at that. Am I forgetting anything, John? Oh, the entryway will improve ADA, and the facade, we have to repoint the stone so that the insulation air ceiling is effective, and also it's just deteriorated quite a bit. So repointing, and I think that covers it, and we've gotten about 750,000, maybe a little more, and our goal is about 1.12. And I'm waiting for, we're having a professional cost estimate done in the next 2 weeks. So the design is at 90% design development, and we'll get the cost estimates back, and that will allow us to know how much we need for this grant. I think it'll be in the $400,000 range, but it really depends on the cost estimate. If we get blown out of the water, I will come back and talk with you all.
Thank you. We're very excited.
Well, we are
Thank
too.
you.
I mean, it reminds me a little bit back when I did the Lund home. In the Lund home, some of the stuff that they were working in and around with mold and everything else is just horrible, And this building's been there for a long time and it needs some major upgrades, and that, we're probably also gonna, put a whole new sign out front so it can be seen from both ways rather than face on, so this way here, people coming from both ways of traffic will be able to see it. We'll have to go through the historical to make sure that it's allowed that we can come off that bracket, to put a bracket up there to allow us to do that.
Yeah, there's a big bracket up there, isn't
Yeah, it's kind of flat right on the wall type thing, and so, it's gonna be a major improvement to the surrounding areas, and people around there, and it's just gonna clean everything up real nice, and unfortunately, we couldn't do the other building, but,
Yeah, that was the nicest one.
I mean, that was, who knows, maybe we'll get some big donors and they'll offer us some big money, and maybe we can do something and make it even better, so. But thank you for doing that for us, and we're excited, and I'm glad that you guys are as well.
Yeah, no, it's great to see.
There's a lot of people that are in need, trust me.
Well, as a chief, I say thank you for doing what you're doing, but he left out the community. And that's the biggest thing, is the community.
Yep.
And what we do for them, and not just ours, for all, because we know what segregation's all about, so we do for everyone. And cleaning it up is gonna be great, but I think it's gonna make people feel a little bit more proud of what we have also. So, yeah, believe me in my language, thank you.
That's great.
Question though.
Sure.
So I'm working down at the chamber office during the summer, and I have people come in asking about the Abenaki headquarters. They wanna go in, they wanna go see. How do they do that?
Come to the door, walk in.
Just come to the door and walk
We're
in?
open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Longer
Okay.
there
Behind
than
you.
anyone's welcome.
Very welcoming.
You walk in the door and Debbie always says, "Hi,
Yes.
how are you?" And if she knows your name, she'll call you by your name. And
9 times out of 10, you'll know.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
And the other big thing is that, we're gonna have display cases inside, so we'll be able to display the heritage that we have and everything in there as well, so, there'll be posters and boards and stuff to talk about the different things that we're gonna have, but it's gonna be done nicely.
Definitely. We're gonna push button.
Oh. I'll have your voice, Chief.
Yeah, I don't know about mine.
Didn't it used to be like the village offices way?
Yeah, I
That's
was
what
told
just
that
going
today.
Because I
Yeah.
remember being a little kid.
They said the police
and
was
dropping
there.
off on the way to school,
Yeah,
like
and I
paying a
didn't-
bill or something like that.
We were told that
It used to
today
be the
by a
fire
citizen.
department.
Yeah.
After the fire.
After, it was
It's
part
like
of
a
the fire
temporary.
department.
We were told police department was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, actually, yeah, it was funny.
Because I remember going in the fire trucks where there was one of two fire trucks inside and that, something like that.
Must have been before Don Bell bought the place.
Don Bell bought it afterwards, I
Okay.
think, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's withstood a long time, so now it's time to give it a little facelift, since it's a lot nicer for all of us.
Yeah. I don't know what it was originally built
Oh, wow, yes, that used to hold the trolley cars that used to go.
for. Oh, that
up
was the
and
trolley
down.
car station? Interesting.
And well, the back building was, but I'm
Right.
sure it was probably all part of that same scenario there.
Yeah.
Because the back.
Yeah, that was it
What's
was like
that?
1925, and I think it held the offices of the trolley company and
Right.
some maintenance space.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I thought it was just always out in the old Messenger building. St. Albans was a trolley car company, and that's where it's all based out of. I didn't realize we had one here.
Well, Swan had their own.
Had their own.
I believe they had their own, yes.
Very interesting. Well, thank you. It's going to be exciting to see it all happen.
They will,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other public comments? No?
Motion to adjourn, I make a motion to adjourn the public hearing on VCDP.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, have a good night.
Bye, Liz.
Bye, Lou.
Agenda review.
Sign in.
John?
Oh,
She says.
Oh, everybody sign in on your sign out.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
How are you? Number 7, agenda review. Anybody need to add anything to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. Number 8, public comment.
Anyone else online?
He's on the agenda.
No one online.
Nobody? Okay. Number 9, approve and accept minutes from Monday, July 8th, 2024 meeting as presented.
I make that motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any nays? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Number 11, discuss towing rotation with CODIS.
no,
Number 10, oops, sorry about that. Approve and accept village warrants for Thursday, July 18th, 2024.
Move they be approved.
I'll second.
You have a first and a second. Any further discussion on the warrants?
I had a couple questions I asked Lynn, and I just because, for transparency purposes, I'm just gonna read this email that was between Lynn and I. A warrant 72, New Hampshire DOT Easy Pass, $16. What department is this for? It's for electric, the tolls on the interstate when the apprentices go to NEPA for their training. Hudak Farm, $2,119.15 for beautification committee comes out of the parks budget. And Casey McTavish for $131.76, which was a refund to a customer from electric.
Can I provide further clarification on the HUDAC?
Absolutely.
So that's part of the $5,000 that was authorized by the trustees for this calendar year for the Swanton Enhancement Beautification Subcommittee.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Any further discussion on the warrants? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carries. Number 11, discuss towing rotation with CODIS towing service between Swanton Village and Swantown. Welcome, Mike. How's it going? Good.
Good.
I have no idea what this is, so let's
So
invite us.
I can give some background. So the approach in the discussion was a request directly to Chief Sullivan and myself from Mr. Coda for reconsideration of how we do the towing rotation. So for background, right, if there's any accident, anybody off the road, generally the practice is you ask them if they have a preference for a record. And as long as it's reasonable, it's not 2 hours away, it's not in a tough spot, you defer to that, right? And most owners appreciate that because people are going to request them as well. In the event that they say they don't have anybody, the officer involved, in this case, keys the mic to dispatch, and dispatch uses the towing record rotation, and whoever is next up in the queue gets that call to respond. So the discussion and the request was, and then I'll obviously open it up to you from your point of view, was, is there consideration for us to modify through Chief Sullivan the towing rotation to restrict it even a bit more if it's in the village or the town square? Did I summarize that fairly?
Very well. Okay. Yes.
So currently, Mike, it's you, TDI, and Stones?
Well, it depends what's hard right now. If you don't get the right dispatcher, they may use the state police rotation, which Stones is on. They have two fictitious names. They have Stones, Benoit's, and Town. So why the state? I don't know about this, but so right now on the state police rotation, if there's an accident right now and they use theirs, you got Stones, Town Line, Benoit's, us, Poissons, Thompson's, and TDI, all in queue, which is okay, but Stones are generally come from Fairfield for that's where they're out.
Yeah,
I mean,
East Fairfield.
they'll throw a truck here and there, but they don't have drivers half the time, except for the most part out there. And a lot of places kind of want somebody that's close by, and so on and so forth. I'm in the village. I have a storage lot, and I can store here and the village. Or in the town both. I have both places to do so. So,
Yep.
And that's the long and the short of it. So if we don't have our own here, then the sheriff's department for the longest time picked a couple people who they use that would show up 24/7 no matter what it is. A lot of after hours Stones won't go because they don't have drivers. They feel if it's not the right vehicle, they're not so on and so forth. They pick and choose a lot of times, and I don't say no to any of them. So that's all. I don't know. We can have our own rotation, which utilizes people who are in our town paying taxes and so on and so forth.
So how it's done now, right now, is just the 911 just does a rotation, and they
Right.
manage the rotation?
Dispatch.
Or
When this
dispatch.
started, it used to be pretty good, like when Donald and them were dispatching, they generally used us TDI, but since now the dispatch is done from Central, they pretty much opened it up to, you could be waiting an hour and a half, and I've seen an accident here for Poissons to come, from Albert, which I'm not allowed over there towing, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know why, that's happening, that's why I'm here.
That makes
Okay.
sense, okay.
Yeah. So how do they just, every call it moves and not?
Yeah, there's
Right,
Just keeps
it
going up and
it
down.
just goes down unless they say they want me or Stones, it just will go down the list unless you have your own list, the town of Swanton or the village wants whoever the people are, then they'll rotate through that. If they just call and say use the next rotation, it could be Stones coming from Fairfield or the Town Line or Poissons or
Yeah.
Thompson's out of Colchester, that's where their storage lot is, so if somebody in Swanton gets in an accident, their car gets towed to Colchester and has to deal with it down there.
Okay. So the village can request their own,
Right,
so to speak, so towing outfits right here in the village would be, yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
okay.
Chief, can you walk us through how you create the towing structure within the CAT RMS system for Central?
So the CAT RMS system has the list in there. And so Central can access that. That's what they're supposed to do if we go off the list. And it is, as Mike described, Poissons, Codas, TDI, Stones, but they only have one spot in the rotation. It's just Stones, even though they bought these other companies, which I think one of them was up the road.
He parks a truck there,
Yeah, he's got a couple
make
trucks
it
and
look-
he's got that yard in the back, but it's very small.
right,
Uh,
plus that's Highgate, that's not,
yeah, I'm not sure where
yeah,
it's.
no,
it's-
that's
yeah,
Highgate,
just
that's
over
not,
the line
nothing to do
behind
with
it.
Swan.
And then, I guess that may be it, I'm not sure, but it's in a list, and so if we ask for the next wrecker in rotation, they're supposed to go to the list and go through that list.
Can we create our own list? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, there's no reason we
Sounds
can't.
like- Yeah,
I would say let's.
Yeah,
so that would just,
Yeah, I mean, we've got TDI, Codas,
that's it. That's it for the
For our
village.
local
I think that's it
taxpayers.
for the village.
Yeah.
Jamie doesn't do
It's
towing,
just-
does he?
Jamie
No.
doesn't do towing and
Yeah.
neither does.
Truthfully, I do most of Jamie's towing, if somebody,
Right.
Jamie calls me, we work together quite a
Yeah.
bit, so
And what about the one?
I mean, I would-
Legacy, is it?
they don't do towing either, no.
I would say let's make our own list and we get,
Let's
Two
make a
choices.
motion.
So for a point of clarification, I don't know that the CAT RMS system can geofence the village, meaning automatically they know if the call's here within these parameters, that it pulls up that corresponding table and it's only Mike. I think we might have to be all of Swanton,
Yeah.
Mike and TDI.
That's
Yeah.
fine, that's,
Because I don't,
Right.
I think otherwise you're
Right.
really trying to trust a dispatcher to say, is
Yep.
it in the village or it is in the
No,
town?
no.
No,
no, I
It
think
would
that,
be all-
I'm very,
Yeah.
it would
that's
be
very
all-
fair to me,
Yeah,
you know,
It would
you
be all
rotate.
split.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a smaller pool anyway.
And what,
Yeah,
it's the two
yeah.
people that are here, you
Right,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So,
only fair.
and that's-
and if the
Favor.
police department falls under our purview,
I believe so.
we might as well use it and
yeah.
do what we
I'm not sure.
need
what
to do.
James- I don't know if he, I know he has a truck, I don't know how much towing it is.
Yeah, I think he just moves his over.
He just told me.
He's on call. Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Who did?
James. So he's got a truck,
He's
right?
got a truck, but he doesn't like to deal with the rotational towing thing at all. He'll do his
He'll do
customers,
private stuff.
private stuff,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, his truck's quite old, so when it, you know, he does when he can, but a lot of times he calls me, I did 2 for him this week, or well, last week for him, but
Yeah.
he does what he can do, but towing is not what he, most of the time, if you guys call him direct, he'll go, but for an accident, for people he don't know, he don't like cause there can be a whole rigmarole with customers and people, and
Yeah.
he, you know, Jamie, he doesn't wanna deal with that, you know.
But so for our own PD, we can kind of in-house probably manage something like that.
Yeah, I think a suggested motion would be something along the lines
So
of.
I make a motion to have a, Swanton Wrecker call-out rotation list that includes CODAs and TDI solely, unless our other local garages decide they want to get into the rotation game. I wanna leave that open for them, to say, if Jamie decides, yeah, I wanna be part of this rotation, he has a way to get into it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion?
No.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you guys very much.
Hey, thank you, Mike, for explaining that, yeah.
Have a great
When I saw it on there, I didn't know what it meant.
Alright, thank you
Who-
very
You're
much.
welcome to stay.
All
Who
right.
seconded the motion?
Is there much happening more or not?
No, sir.
Adam did.
I'm gonna go have dinner.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Thank you.
night, Michael.
See ya.
Sorry, Adam did.
I did.
Number 12, Swanton Village Police Department update with Chief Matt Sullivan. It's been busy.
Can we pass them down?
Yes, please. So 2 packets.
Oh, I was supposed to
Oh.
take one of those, sorry. I wasn't sure what he was.
Are there 2 packets in this packet, or is this
No,
just one
just
packet?
one.
That's
Okay,
one,
so-
and here comes the second one.
There's the
Actually,
village
no, I
one.
don't have one of those copies
Oh,
either.
which one do you
The
need?
first one.
Oh, we need, there should
You need
be
one of
an
those
extra
first
one.
back.
do we sign
Back
here
there,
or
right?
next to our name?
The line across from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. This one, actually, you can have these back too. That,
These are extras. Adam got one?
Take one down.
Yep,
That's-
Adam.
Yes.
This is village and town.
That's
Okay.
village and town, this is the village.
one for me.
Yes, so you'll
Back to
see 2
Chief.
packets. The first one that came down was the village, the data for the village for the month of June. There were 147 incidents, 21 suspicious circumstance, 12 directed patrol, 10 citizen assists, and these are the top 10 incident types. 10 family fights, 9 community outreach, 9 citizen disputes, 8 traffic stops, 8 juvenile problems, 7 welfare checks, and 6 thefts. So out of those 8 traffic stops, there were 5 tickets issued and 6 warnings. There were 12 arrest charges total for 10 individuals. And that summarizes the data for the village for the month. The second packet that you have, sorry, this one.
Oh, so I was wondering where that was coming from.
Yeah. I didn't know.
The second packet that you have is the village and the town and surrounding area. All the incidents combined, so there were 266 incidents in total for the month of June. And if you look at the top 10 incident types, there were 52 directed patrols, 28 suspicious, 22 traffic stops, 16 community outreach, 15 citizen assists, 12 family fights, 11 agency assists,
10 welfare checks, 10 juvenile problems, and 9 citizen disputes. Out of those 22 traffic stops, 21 tickets were issued and 15 warnings. There were 4 individuals arrested associated with traffic enforcement. And there were 27 arrest charges total for 20 individuals, which is pretty high. And then once you get past that preliminary data set, you will see there were 12 hours total of additional services provided to the town via the contract. There were 4 traffic stops associated with the additional services, 3 direct patrol, and 2 community outreach. And then the list of those incidents is behind that summary. And the page after that is the speed trailer data for BB Road. So this is during the detour, so this is pretty interesting. This was, I want to say, eastbound traffic on BB Road from July 16th to July 22nd.
You said eastbound?
Eastbound.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. So there were 17,588 vehicles measured over that time period. Out of those 17,588, there were 4,781 vehicles above, I don't know why it says the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit, it should be 40-mile-per-hour speed limit. And then it was a little, the speed trailer, I don't know why I pulled the data this way, it was a little wonky, and then normally it gives you poll numbers, and it pulled it on these like mid-range numbers, so 46 to 55, there were 4,548 vehicles measured, which is 25.9% of the total vehicles. So obviously the top range of that, I mean, you get into 51 miles per hour, it's problematic for us. Anything 11 over is beyond the range. 56 to 65, there were 190 vehicles measured, or 1.1% of the total data set. 66 to 75, there were, and I corrected the percentages on your sheets because it wasn't in relation to the total data set, it was in relation to the vehicles above the speed limit initially. At the 66 to 75, there were 0.11% of the total data set, those vehicles in that speed range. 76 to 85 miles per hour, there were 5 total vehicles measured, or 0.028% of the total data set. 86 to 95, there were 2 vehicles measured, or 0.011% of the data set. And 96 plus, there were 5 vehicles measured at 0.028% of the data set. And then the bottom group is essentially between the contract hours for the town, because that is technically in the town on BB Road. And so 73 total vehicles measured during contract hours, representing 0.42% of that total data set of 17,588 vehicles measured. The next page gives you all of the vehicles total and the numbers corresponding with the different speeds. And again, it kind of used this wonky, I don't know why it did it, but 30, like for example, 36 to 45 rather than 30 to 40, essentially miles per hour. So I don't know why it did it, but you can see the bar graph corresponding with that. It is notable that there are 2 things notable about this on this page. Is one, the highest speed was 117 miles per hour, which is concerning, most likely a motorcycle to reach that sort of speed on that road. And then the thing that's positive about this is if you look at the 85th percentile, it was 48 miles per hour, so within reason as far as the 85th percentile of vehicles in the data set.
And this was at the museum location?
No, this is BB Road, so this was,
Next to the guy who sells the cereal.
Right, yeah.
yes,
The voice.
exactly,
The
it's,
voice,
yes,
the voice,
yes,
yeah,
exactly, that's where the speed trailer I saw there today.
yeah, yeah.
So, the next page is BB Road eastbound traffic, all of the vehicles by time of day. So you can see again, this is just really, it comes down to primary commuting hours, and then it tails off the later it gets in the evening as far as the volume of traffic. And Then the page after that is Beebe Road eastbound at 51 plus miles per hour. So again, this is kind of the area where we would be concerned. There were 704 vehicles total out of that 17,588 measured at 51 plus miles per hour. And then within that data set of the 704 vehicles, the 85th percentile was 58 miles per hour. The next page is Beaver Road eastbound 51 plus again, and it's just bar graphs associated with the actual speeds. So you can see again the bulk of the vehicles were between the 46 to 55 mile per hour range. And again, since it's 51 plus, it's actually 51 to 55 miles per hour. You had, if I can read this, 483 in that range. So the bulk of those 704 were within the 51 to 55 mile per hour range. The next page is all vehicles, the next page, I'm sorry, jumps to South River during the detour. And so this represents a data set from July 12th to July 16th. There were, and this is northbound traffic, and I believe this was at the museum roughly, I'm sorry, the walking bridge. Yeah, museum walking bridge area. So you had a total number of vehicles measured were 15,585. And there are two things again here that stand out. One, the highest speed was 79, which is concerning. But the thing that's positive about this is the 85th percentile was at 39 miles per hour, which is well within reason. Again, in a 30 mile per hour zone.
It's a 30 there.
It's a 30 there. And then the bar graphs on this page represent the total number of vehicles by graphic representation. Again, you can see the bulk of them are within the 31 to 40 mile per hour range. The page after that is a representation of volume by time of day. And so again, it's mainly commuting hours. Page after that is vehicles traveling at 41 plus miles per hour. So out of that total data set of 15,585, you had 931 vehicles traveling at 41 plus. And the 85th percentile of those 931 vehicles was 46 miles per hour. And the page after that, the final page, is volume by speed range for the 41 mile per hour plus data set. So again, although there are outliers here, certainly that are concerning, I would say it's pretty positive that on South River, you know, that 85th percentile was 39 miles per hour. And then the same thing would be as far as the 85th percentile.
People seem to want to care.
For the most part, you do get those that are concerning. So the percentages are so low, you know, it's being in the right place at the right time as far as the enforcement action. And quite frankly, overall, I'm pretty pleased with the way the detour has gone.
I'm very pleased.
Certainly, with a project of this magnitude, it was a little concerning going into it as to how it would flow, but it seems to flow pretty well. Every time I've gone through in the morning, there's no backup of traffic at BB and St. Albans Road. It really seems to be working pretty well in the grand scheme of things, compared to some of the experience I've had over the years.
Yeah, sure.
Doing traffic details, it's pretty positive.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think everybody that's gone through and been courteous and kind about it, you know, I thank them. You know, it's important. You know, this is a temporary thing, and we're gonna get through this, we're gonna get through it with minimal issues, and, you know, we're gonna move on to the next 5 years. So, one question I did have on the village, I noticed a suspicious person has jumped. Never seemed to be number one.
Yeah, I would have to look at each one of those incidents, so it's a catch-all category.
I remember you saying that.
And so depending on, it really requires a look at each one of those incidents to see what the circumstances are surrounding those.
Mhm.
So I can't really give you a better answer
No,
than that
yeah.
without.
It just seems strange, because usually it's directed patrols. This time it was suspicious, so.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I remember you saying that.
Right, and depending on how it's punched, I mean, this is one of the things, I know we struggled with this in Burlington because it was a huge category, right? And it was so vague that it was difficult to discern what was going on with those incidents, so it was problematic. And part of the problem is if the dispatcher gets the information coming in, they may flag it as suspicious, and then officers aren't going back after the fact and changing the call type to
Right.
something that's more specific.
Yep.
So I can certainly take a look at those and then.
Yeah, again, it was just more of a curiosity thing on my end.
Yeah.
The last thing I had on the detour is I had 3 people reach out to me and say the tractor trailers aren't as popular now, so they must be going other places.
I think so.
There's still tractor trailers going down, but not as much as what they've seen come through the village.
Yeah, I think they're finding alternative routes,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I hope it stays that way.
I think one of the nicest things about the bypass is because there's so much room, it just kind of absorbs a lot of the volume versus the bottleneck down at the, I mean, even the normal 3 to 9 to 3 to 5 period, which is bottleneck bumper to bumper over the bridge and through the downtown, just keeps flowing better than it normally does.
Spreads it out.
It spreads it out, it has a lot more area to spread it out, people keep moving, and they had shut down one lane before that they had a taste of what that would be like, if it had been 8 or 9 weeks of that.
Yeah,
And
it would not have been pretty.
No.
It would not have been pretty.
I have to do it every day, and it seems to go really well.
I think if we had closed one lane, it would have been a huge headache as far as the traffic back up. And we got a little taste of that, right?
That one
The
day
day
before.
before.
Yep.
So it was considerably backed up compared to the way it's flowing
No,
now.
I think that people get more anxious when they're sitting still than when they're moving along. And 15, 20 to 30 minutes stuck in a traffic bubble for weeks on end.
That's all I had.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Is
you.
that the end of the?
Yes.
Yeah.
You stick around for the next part.
Yes.
Oh.
Aha, number 13. Discussion on purchase of police department morale coins.
Okay, they're actually called challenge coins, but I said morale because I figured some of you would ask me what the challenge was.
Well, that makes sense.
So, here I'm going to give you some examples. These belong to my husband. They're,
You look really cool.
from Customs and Border Protection.
I was thinking you were
The
that's real coins.
chief let me know today that and I'm bringing this to you so that you can, this is the existing Swanton Village Challenge coin. She's gonna just take a video of it quick and then I'll pass it out to you guys. So this is a military tradition. Where it started is some argument about, but what it does is when you are in a unit, you get this coin. Usually it's an attaboy kind of thing, like good job. You get it from your sergeant major or your commander, and then it's a symbol of belonging to that group. So it's a morale booster, right? And in the military, when we're out and about, you know, in a bar, we'll go coin check, right? Everybody has a coin. Everyone has a coin, if I did the challenge, I'd have to buy everybody around. If somebody doesn't have the challenge, the coin, they have to buy everybody around. That's how it works in the military. With police officers, it's more of a mutual admiration, passing the coin to your friend that works for Burlington or Brandon, and you share it amongst each other the way that we swap patches, or we used to swap patches. So this is the one that Swanton Village had, if you can pass that around. And I would like to purchase some
I think that got,
for our officers,
not sure.
just as a morale boost, you know, a sense of belonging, a sense of camaraderie, and I think it would, you know, be beneficial. I have some cost analysis. The coins that I was looking at through Challenge Coins Plus for 100 coins, and the mold is good for 2 years, would be $541 for the police department,
Or 100.
for 100.
Now you,
And then they'd be given to chief, and chief would give them out as he saw fit. I don't wanna micromanage that, that's for the chief to decide. And the molds, like I said, is good for 2 years, so if the officers wanted to order some, you know, they could be able to get them for, $4.16 per mold.
pretty cheap.
Is it based on certain size at all, or?
So this is, for a 2-inch coin, which is, I believe this
The bigger one.
Yeah.
Which this one is like a 3.
Yeah, it's good
The one
size.
from Highgate is large. So it's more Messina versus, Richford's or,
That's pretty big.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like that little one, to tell you the truth, it seems manageable,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
something like that size. So anyways, I'm not gonna,
Like,
I don't, you know, need a motion today, but it's just something to consider and something that I'd like to do.
it's kind of about the
That's
size
all
of a
cheap.
silver dollar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate trustee Kelleher bringing it up. She actually, just in the course of conversation, we were talking about patches and coins, and quite frankly, I forgot that we had them because we only had a few left,
Yeah.
was my understanding out of that initial batch that the department had prior to my arrival.
That's right.
And so trustee Kelleher took it upon herself to create a design that's almost identical to the design that actually we have currently. So I do appreciate it, just because it's not something that normally we would have in the budget and say,
Right.
we're gonna set aside this amount of money. We're more focused on operational concerns. But it is really nice. A lot of officers do collect the coins and have substantial collections, and so it is something traded, just as she described. You know, when people collect them. So it is nice to have, and people really do like them. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it.
So it'd be a whole new design for a new coin?
So the current coin right now has, the Vermont seal on the back and says, "I'm proudly serving the people of Swanton Village and Town." My proposal was the state of Vermont with freedom and unity, and then Vermont on the back. This is subject to change. It can be this if that's what the officers want, and that's what Chief and I had discussed, was him running it by, all the guys on the force and lady on the force, and letting me know what they wanted to see, what colors they wanted to see, how they wanted it to look. I just wanted to put something together so I could make a proposal to you guys. So this is very flexible, but Challenge Coins Plus was the least expensive that I found. So you can go as much as $6 per coin, or even upwards from that. So I was trying to stay in, you know, a reasonable price point for it. And this company is the company that Richford Port of Entry uses for their coin.
Border Patrol.
Yeah, well, it's Customs and Border Protection. But
It's very nice.
I never heard of those.
Came to our attention some time ago too. That's why they have some.
So last time we minted some coins, it was a little while ago.
A lot of while,
5 years ago.
a lot of while.
A lot of while ago, decade, a while
I
ago,
don't know,
type of thing.
quite a while.
So did you guys wanna sit on this and think about it, or do you wanna make a motion? What are you,
You would be doing the fire department as well?
I would like to do the fire department, but it does not, the fire department does not need to be done at the same time.
There would be a different coin.
Theirs is slightly different, with the fire department patch, and if I use
Sure.
the same back,
I
it
think
would,
so. I
it
think
saves
so.
some
Yeah.
money.
No reason not to.
Yeah. Why not?
Can we find the money?
That was my next question.
We can find the money.
If we can find the money, I'll make the motion that we move forward with the challenge coins for police and fire.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second motion on the challenge coins. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Could you say exactly what you're authorizing?
I make the motion that we move forward with the challenge coin for the police department and fire department,
I would say not to exceed $1,000.
not to exceed $1,000.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, all in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Adam and Susie, for putting that together.
That was her.
No, I'm passing the motion
Oh.
and Susie putting it together.
Could I suggest a slight modification, just in
Absolutely,
case,
sir.
in case fire uses a different back? Can we
Yeah.
say 1,100? That way we're
Yes,
covered
sir.
if they change.
Yep.
So,
You good with that?
Yes, I'll amend my motion to $1,100.
thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a first and a second for amendment. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. All opposed? Motion carried to carry in the amendment for one extra $100. Number 14, review and acknowledge second quarter SQRP report.
I acknowledge and accept the second quarter SQRP report. Did I do
Yes.
that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's,
Woo!
yeah,
Squirt.
That's all we need.
that's it. The trustees acknowledge it.
Report is good.
We don't need to do it.
No. Just acknowledge
For,
receipt.
for the minutes, Heidi, it's the municipal utility service quality and reliability plan.
And by the way, this is like the lady in the front office
you
report
for
card,
that.
right? This is the lady's report card? The billing, like the billing?
That is correct.
They are doing a phenomenal
Yeah.
job. Like, they have like a baseline and they're not even close to it.
Right. 3
So well
inaccurate
done.
bills out of almost 12,000.
Job well done.
Number 15, village manager's update. Bill, updates.
Mine's gonna be quick. So the bridge update, I think everybody's aware of that. We talked about it a little bit in the chief's update. Overall, the detour's going strong to the point where we've had one accident and the potential, if you do the count of 10,800, they have 140,000 vehicles navigating that detour. And the one accident was inattention, a young gentleman who rear-ended somebody that could happen anywhere. So, for the most part, with a lot of credit due to the chief's team, to Public Works, we're keeping a running list. I think we made well over 20 modifications, little adjustments to signage, to distances, to the control of the lights. And and I do see some feedback on social media. Those all have since day one had differing green lights, allowing the ability to turn, but they're tuned to what traffic engineers suggest would be the most.
Are they simply just timed, or is there a sensor at all?
Timed.
Just timed.
Just time. And it's not much, it's like a 5, maybe 7 to 10 second difference on the ability to turn coming down St. Albans Road left on the
I said I've got to do it multiple times every day, and I've never really seen much of a delay through the entire thing.
A lot of it is because of the, let's call them aggressive yellow, orange, red, burnt orange, red, you know, where they're forcing it and they're going through at the last minute
Yep.
and not a lot of, not an excessive amount of common courtesy going on in terms of allowing others to proceed. Yeah.
Certainly not excessive.
So let's talk about the bridge itself. So Dirt Tech is ahead of schedule. Everything so far has gone exceptionally well. So the degradation of the concrete was not nearly as extensive. So they made sure that was all gone. They tied in new rebar. Everything, by the way, is not only inspected with hyper scrutiny by the concrete company, by Dirt Tech, but by Ruggiano Engineering, our independent engineer, to include a test for PSI, for strength of the concrete. Everybody's on site. Nikon is the subcontractor, the only subcontractor. After the forms were poured, they came in after that was done, and they've done their membrane layer, and that's complete. And Dirt Tech paved today. So if you just look at it right now, it looks complete. But it's far from complete. It's missing the most important piece of this project. So tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., weather pending, and this next 3-day stretch does not look great, Nikon comes back and they do a precision cut on each expansion joint that opens up. It's about 3 inches. The form is blown out with a machine, and then they have what's left is that expansion joint. And then they put their specialized liquid asphaltic plug in there that literally hardens at the same level as the asphalt in 30 minutes. Done. It can't be done in any inclement weather whatsoever. It just doesn't work.
Fine.
So, here's the candid discussion. If they are able to get this done tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, Dirt Tech will, pending the final engineer's assessment, will turn it over to us. We will then go on the bridge and do whatever additional fixes, beautification, fill in some cracks. Swanton Electric's gonna go on the bridge, clean the 2 lights out around the bridge. On the Foundry Street end, unless they got to it this afternoon, I haven't been out of the office this afternoon, 2 additional lights at the corner of Foundry at the bridge, one that'll be right over the bridge, one that'll be right 90 degrees over Foundry Street. And then coming back up toward the VFW, we are taking down that triplex wire, going underground, and the pole closest to the bridge and the VFW side of the lot, same thing. One directly 90 out over the bridge, one over the parking lot. And then a little bit of an update on one more light to LED that is on the opposite side of the bridge on across from Foundry. I think they're gonna update that one. I'm not sure about that. So we theoretically could have the bridge open if all went well. If it was gonna be a beautiful day tomorrow, we could have it open by Wednesday, which means we finish significantly early, and Dirt Tech qualifies for a $10,000 performance bonus based on meeting that timeline. And it's quite possible, but the more likely scenario is with 3 days of rain, that we cross our fingers, we're at the mercy of the subcontractor, that Nikon can come back Friday and do it Friday. And we'll do whatever we can in the interim, in the rain, with the electric department and with Dean's crew, and then open it up Friday after the block party. All hands on deck, including the chief's crew, and we open it up at 8 p.m. to traffic. Still, by the way, ahead of schedule.
Last time I checked the weather, Friday was looking good.
Friday looks good, but we have no no verification that the sub is available.
I know.
Right, I mean, and that really, you can't open it prior to that, you can't open it and close it, it's impossible. And they would literally destroy, that asphalt would go down and destroy the work that's been done. You could not do it. So, we just call for a little bit of patience. I think that everybody has had their hands full with this project, multiple parts of the organization. I don't think it hasn't failed to touch anybody. And knock on wood, it's gone extremely well. So, we urge people to use those downtown businesses to get there, to take the detour. We understand that the impact, but we're doing what we have to do to fix the bridge and fix it correctly.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better.
We've seen a pretty good flow for downtown. So you'll see plenty of cars, private businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is strange, again, I'm working out of the chamber office, it is strange to be able to open my door and not get pounded by 18-wheelers going by.
That'll change soon.
Oh, I know. So I'm taking advantage of it now.
No, it's extremely peaceful.
It's crazy quiet.
Yeah.
I've never heard this in my 58 years. I mean, never. It's just really strange.
No, and they got the whole downtown remarked, took advantage of the no heavy traffic. Crosswalks
Yeah.
all look great.
Yep. Yeah, they're out there working. It will be very nice to have this project successfully behind us.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Just a few more days. We just need to hang on a few more days. That's it. That's it.
Yes, we do.
Just a few more days.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're almost there.
Any questions in reference to the bridge or the detour? Okay. Let's talk about the river crossing. So the river crossing started again on June 24th. They really have done nearly all of the work on the Canada Street, Webster Terrace, and with the exception of, any connection down below. They have connected to the main line on Foundry Street, and they're down to about the first house. They have installed the temporary water line that is tested and met state standards for drinkable water. So that will go to all the houses on Foundry Street for the duration of the project. So we have a project update meeting in this room at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Right now, the boat launch is closed officially. It will remain closed. We are on time and on budget as of right now. Best case scenario is that the drillers, and I gotta get the name because if you don't remember it, Henniker Directional Drilling out of New Hampshire, July 29th, cross your fingers, could be 1 week later. They're waiting to finish a job that they're on before they come here. I don't know that 1 week matters in the scope. This is an early June or early September to late September completion date, and they have plenty to do, GW Tetro, before those folks get here.
Oh, yeah. They're well at the beginning of the week.
Yeah. So but for right now, again, all things considered, it's going very well. I do want to stress, and we're going to go door to door. If people are watching this, full reassurances. The old water line actually extends further away from the street than the new one for those folks on the left side as you go down. So the first 5 houses before the water line crosses over. Your land is getting disturbed now. It will look like it was never touched by the time the contractors leave. So I get the discomfort now for some folks, but it will be completely fixed.
Now, you had mentioned GW Tetro has plenty to do.
Yes.
What are they currently doing at this point to prep for the 29th?
So they're doing they're repeating the same thing that they did connecting Canada down Webster Terrace, but this is much more problematic because there's a lot more in the way.
Got
So they have made it down
Been
to
slower.
Mr. Truax's house, a little bit past that. And they're putting the pipe in the ground as they go, and they're actually gonna start the process of digging their pits, and these are massive, so this is the interconnection from
Yep.
under the river to the pits. So they've got their hands full. We do daily check-ins, both myself and Dean, with the project there, and with the bridge folks.
Yeah.
So it's,
How many total homes?
including both sides, I'm gonna go with 10 or 11. Heidi, do you know off the top of your head? I'd say 10 or 11.
Just
total.
guess it.
15.
It might be,
Yeah, by
It
the time you
might
get
be.
around the corner there.
yeah,
Each one is a special problem.
yeah, I mean, I can get the map and literally throw it out, it's got every number and everything right there, so,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get to hear the almost daily updates, and there's a lot of buried chaos.
There are,
And
yes.
a lot of
Mhm.
up and over
Yep.
piping and routing and
Yep.
that they're gonna have to do, and temporary water line, just getting that plugged in was
Mhm.
just a week, so they have to
Yep.
shut down excavation just to do that part of it.
Are they doing curb stops at all, or?
And, yes, so,
boundary?
oh, yeah, every house, right,
Every-
yes,
yeah, every
correct,
house,
Yep.
yes,
Yeah, everything gets done over.
yeah. It's actually, it's an inconvenience, but after that, you have a brand-new line
Yep.
to a main line that really no one else has. You really got some of the highest quality H2O right there,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be quite nice.
yep.
Yep.
And everybody's interested in watching the directional drilling machine show up. So,
I don't know that there's a big viewing port or point, and, I mean, I'm not exactly sure.
No, I think, yeah, no.
I don't know they're gonna
as far as
see
the
what they
crew and
think.
everybody's interested,
Yeah.
yeah. it's-
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
this is, you don't see it every day. I mean, you
No.
think about the technology, right? A 14-inch pipe, 30 feet down, shoot across and come out with precision that's incredible.
I still don't understand the mechanics of how it works. They tried to explain to me one day, and I was just like, how do you know, or how do you know,
Yeah, no, it's,
left, right? up,
it
down?
is, it's phenomenal, for sure. Any questions reference that?
No,
So again, big update in this room tomorrow. And then tomorrow for wastewater, moving on to that project, we have our pre-construction meeting with Kingsbury Construction, the state of Vermont, and all parties here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So
Good.
we are now officially kicking that project off.
Kingsbury's on board.
Kingsbury's on
Officially
board. They have
approved.
been officially awarded the contract, and
Good.
and that's a good thing. So that project, it doesn't mean it's starting tomorrow,
No.
but it's gonna kick off
Well,
very
you said
soon.
preliminary.
Yes, pre-construction meeting, to make sure everybody's on the same page and put a face and the requirements and all that stuff, but I think that'll be smooth sailing. And, you know, like, the connecting thing with both of those, wastewater and water, is Aldrich and Elliott.
Right.
And we get to work with the same team who we work so closely with and know so well, so
Yep.
that's very helpful. Moving on to hydro, just very quickly, it keeps raining, so you're gonna keep hearing, until it stops raining, that we're gonna not drain the penstock and waste all that water and energy, so, the control ring for unit 1 is still,
Yeah.
it's installed, but it will not be operational until we can drain the penstock and line up the wiki gates and do all that cool stuff, so.
And we're gonna get a notification when that day actually does arrive, when it gets to be
Sure.
flowy enough.
Yes, yeah, we'll let
Make it
people know.
happen, I'm interested in that.
It's a good show and tell, yes, I'll make another note of that for sure. And then this is a new issue, but not a new issue, but this is for an on your radar. And then talk about some possible solutions.
Oh,
Let's shift to the stump dump, the burn pile on St. Albans Road on our village property. So we had a gentleman come in today complaining about the smoke, and we do have a permit from the state of Vermont. It's an approved site, signed off by the state and the environmental conservation folks. And we can burn when we deem it safe. And that's partially because we have our own fire department, and it is a nicety, right? The design of this stump dump was originally for Swanton residents, so that they don't burn in their backyard and catch things on fire and jeopardize life and personal safety, to include our fire department members responding. So it is a good thing, but when you do burn it, and when it does pile up, it can become troublesome. So a gentleman came in today who lives right across from there and said, you know, he's got COPD, really wants us to put it out. So I rode up there, and it was just, it's smoldering for several days, right
Yeah,
after
that's
the
it,
rain.
just a little bit.
So we're not getting much gain. So I did ask Chief Chevalier and his team to go up, and they did about 8,000 gallons of water, 3 tankers, and put it out. So I explained to the gentleman that, you know, we still have to burn from time to time, but here's what's happening, and I think it's really kind of getting away from us. I'm told it used to have a gate and we took it down. I'm told that we really don't police it, I know we don't. So, Dean has caught 6 or 7 people from St. Albans just in the last week or so, bringing their stuff there. It's not for them.
I know.
And because everybody is bringing stuff there, it makes the piles exorbitantly high.
Mhm.
So we just have to brainstorm about lessening that impact. I don't think it's a good idea to do away with it. We gotta be mindful of the folks that are impacted by the smoke. So just a couple things to think about is, some more communication, some signage. If we close the gates, what they did last time is simply drove around them. Drove around them at midnight and, you know, maybe it's, Jersey barriers, working with, Rainey Bordeaux, cause he does lease that for corn. The longer term alternative could be exploring leasing back a portion of the cornfield and not burning. Get a couple acres and just keep pushing and let it rot, but that takes years.
It does, it takes a
And
long
it's
time.
not, it's a little unsightly,
Yeah,
and it takes years and years, but it does not cause that smoke, and you don't have those issues with the public, so. I see both sides, it did, I still smell from just being down there for a minute with the fire department, so I get it, it can be noxious, so it's just something to think about, and any guidance you wanna offer up, will be welcome, cause I've only been here 18 months, so I'm not sure what did or did not work, but I know we had a gate and it got taken down, so I don't know the history of it.
I don't know that we
I
ever
think
had a
we
gate
didn't have
there
a gate
though.
there. We had a gate
Oh,
up
yeah, we
No,
at
no, no.
Yeah, we did.
Far.
Yes, I
That's
think
where
it
had a
never,
gate.
I think it didn't get, I thought Dean said it got moved originally and the people were driving around, we just,
I think
No.
they may have tried,
might have tried it, yeah.
but
I
I
don't
think
know.
they fixed it so that it wouldn't happen, and we were going up there every day and locking it at night.
So, one of the locations was unlocked days, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, unlocked.
That's
Was
an
that one?
idea,
Yeah,
that's an idea.
yeah,
Yep, about E10.
okay.
And don't we have?
Cause I remember
Trail
that
cams
being
on?
a complaint of certain people, one I might live with, that it was ridiculous that it was closed, and on the weekends, when they wanted to go drop stuff off at the old
That's-
dump, but
that's
before
right.
we made the new one over here.
There was
And,
yep.
yeah, and so then, you know, then we had that one and we have that one, but I also have on occasion have gone to dump stuff out at P10 or that location and have run into people from Sheldon,
Contractors.
All of that, all of that.
St. Albans,
Sure.
Alberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we're gonna do a sign already, Swanton residents only.
Can we do
Yeah.
$5,000 fine?
Only the most honest folks
Why not?
are gonna do that, but just in the short time I was there were 2 people there, both from Swanton, cause I asked. And that gentleman's like, oh, you're not gonna shut it down, are you? This is really so I don't burn in the backyard. So,
Yeah.
I don't think we wanna shut it down, I think
No.
we just gotta make some tweaks and.
Yep.
And so at one point, by the way, somebody said, well, chip everything, and then you can spread it.
I was wondering about that,
Yeah, that's a full-time job for what's there, at least,
I was
I'm
gonna say,
seriously,
we're gonna have to
full.
hire another guy just
You
to.
have to hire
run the
another, you have
chipper.
to hire 1 or 2 and
Yeah,
buy a
well, 2 for safety.
$250,000 piece of
Chipper,
equipment,
yeah.
right? And some of that stuff even, they're dropping off what looks like sequoias there. It's just
Big stuff.
big stuff, yeah. So there's no action item, it's just it's an FYI, we'll brainstorm and come up with some ideas for action items and.
We can
and,
help too.
Yeah,
I certainly like going up whenever I have
It's
to,
kind
moment
of,
to run the
Nice.
twigs up there and everything, that's for sure.
yeah, that's the tough part about weekends, most people do their work at home with their brush on weekend. Yeah,
So, yes, at least a weekend would need to have some hours, it would seem like. But
And
who's
also,
gonna
if, I mean,
lock it? Who's gonna?
if we do put a gate there, who's to say they're not gonna just drive through the cornfield?
they probably would, you could put some Jersey barriers out, probably quite a ways, be a real deterrent.
yeah, it's gonna have to, put some thought into it.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
pain.
we'll have to think about
Yeah.
it.
It's almost better paying.
Is it
How
more a
long-
pain than it is less a pain for like?
Well, that's the thing, what if we didn't offer it?
Well, I think we should.
I'm just asking.
I think then it becomes more of a pain for Dan and the boys. And
That's
then
correct.
it becomes more of a pain of having to pay them to go and put out brush fires that, you know, can consume people's barns and houses and garages. And so I think having it is probably better than not having it. It's just how do we police it
Right.
so that it's not being used by non-Swanton residents.
Well, obviously, there's more is going in there than twigs, and that's the issue, is the large
Well, you can put
stumps and-
leaves up at P10 still.
You put leaves
Yeah.
up in the far.
But
Yeah.
here, oh yeah, it's, you drive down there, it's,
Some of
it's,
it's,
it's really concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it just supposed to be for light? You think it's supposed to be, it's not?
well,
Supposed to be.
I
It's-
thought branches is, you know, 4 or
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
inches, I didn't think, that's okay.
It's certainly not designed for commercial
Use.
operations.
Right. Like I'm about to get the ash tree taken out of my backyard because of emerald ash borer.
Yep.
I'm not like, yeah, go drop that off up
Right.
at P10. Like, no, I'm paying the guy to take it out of my
And-
backyard.
And he will.
No, he won't drop it off at P10 because I'm gonna,
He
stumped
will-
up because I'm gonna follow him, and if he does, I'm gonna.
If he pays for a criminal fine, he'll take care of it.
Yeah. Where are you going with that? Not over there.
Uh,
That's all I have on that. It's just it's a little thought piece in the future discussion. And the last thing is there will be 5 of us representing the village at the second annual MVU Career Fair on July 26th from 10 to 12.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
July 12th, is it?
July 26th
26th.
from 10 to 12.
This
So
Thursday?
that's
This Thursday?
this Friday.
It's Friday.
This, oh, 26, sorry.
26.
Yep,
Yeah,
this
okay.
Friday, and, you know, lightly attended, but, you know, a good target audience. I think it's generally like 10th and 11th graders that are thinking about their future. And most of the crew we're bringing up there, by design, graduated from the year. So it's,
Clever.
it's kind of, except for your guy. But he's the SRO there, so that counts. That matters.
Right.
He's approachable.
Right.
They know him.
Yeah.
They see him every
They
day.
see him.
Yes, and that's all I have.
All right.
All right, any other necessary business?
I just had one thing. I had seen a video that Siobhan Cooper had done with regards to you two and Diane talking about charter changes and board member changes.
Yeah.
Discouraged, to say
Discouraged?
the least.
For,
Well, there was talk about a trustee change, but there was no trustee available. No, I don't know that a trustee was ever invited to this. You know, I wanna make sure, and I'll have the conversation with Siobhan if I can ever find her. But,
yeah. No, that's a good point. It's a good point.
you know, but, I mean, we're talking about transparency and there was none, you know? There was none,
Well, we've talked about that
so.
in our meetings a while back, or not too long ago, going back to a 5-person.
Yeah, I mean, I got the sense that she was trying to make a decision that day and get things done tomorrow, and, you know, that's what I took out of that, so,
Okay.
that's why I bring it up now. So, I just, you know, she's preaching transparency, has to work both ways.
Sure,
So-
I understand it. I saw it just as a Q&A, just trying to find out
So,
what the process might be entail, what's possible, what's not possible, so.
yeah, no, I bring that up, and I encourage her to reach out to me, I'll continue trying to reach out to her.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I just would ask for the same courtesy.
Any other necessary?
A couple things. So, on the block party, I've spoken to the band, and they prefer to be in the park in the bandstand, so that's where they'll be. That's where people can find them.
Okay.
And on our food drive, I dropped the food off to both the Church Nativities food shelf and to the Abenaki food shelf. In cash, we got $270, and I went to Hannaford's and spent $269.99.
Nice.
Nice job.
You could win at prices, right?
And that's
Right.
cash, and then there was an awful lot of goods.
Yeah,
to
there was
go
a lot
along
of
with it.
goods. There's a video on the Swanton Facebook page, Swanton Village Facebook page. I took a video of everything that we had. I divided it between both food shelves, really focusing on the things that they asked for. Each food shelf had a list of things that they had wanted. So like the Nativity had asked for like saltine crackers and coffee and cake and brownie mixes, so I made sure that most of that went their direction, while the Abenaki food shelf had asked for like, the peanut butter snack crackers and granola bars, so I made sure those kind of went that way, and then just divided like the pizza sauce and canned goods and spaghetti sauces and pastas equally between both of them. So we did really well, and I was very pleased with the outcome, and they were both pleased with what they received. So
Good.
Thank you for doing
Yeah,
that.
thank
yeah,
you everybody
thank
for
you
participating
for
in that.
participating.
Nice little job.
Yeah,
And any other?
don't forget the car show.
I'm okay.
In Carson,
And
which
Carson.
is Saturday.
The Saturday,
Saturday?
78 and sunny with a north wind about 3 miles an hour.
Are we supposed to
your
get like a
band.
repeat weekend of last weekend this weekend? I haven't
This
seen the
weekend
full
looks-
long-term
this weekend looks
forecast
good.
last Friday.
Yeah.
Looks good?
Yep.
Great.
So we thank the good Lord ahead of time.
All right.
Keep praying for good weather, and
So
we
we
will
got a
have a
doubleheader.
successful show.
Block party,
Block
music,
party Friday, yep.
Saturday.
Saturday car show.
Annual car show.
And then we have another music
There's
event.
the
Citizens
31st
band.
is Citizens Band, which I haven't advertised, but it's 7 to 8 in the park, weather pending.
31 July.
Yep, 31 July.
All right.
Okay, officially are we done with any other necessary business?
Yes, we are.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a first and a second to adjourn this public part of the meeting. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried to adjourn. This is part of the public meeting.
Thank you, everyone.